Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating, almost mind-bending idea from the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're going to look at our world and, more importantly, our own minds, not as some place that needs to be constantly scrubbed clean of problems, but as a living, breathing ecosystem that's actually designed to transform them. It's a total shift in perspective, so let's get right into it. So let's start with a really big question, one you've probably asked yourself. Look around. The world is just full of negativity, stress, chaos, you name it. If our minds and our world are constantly getting polluted with all this stuff, things like anxiety, anger, all that difficult karma and suffering, you have to wonder, why haven't they just collapsed? How does the whole system keep running without completely breaking down? Well, the sutra has a pretty amazing answer for that. All right, so the very first step here is to challenge a super common assumption most of us have, whether it's about spiritual practice or just basic mental health. We're about to totally flip the script on what it really means to be pure. This right here is the core idea. Our first instinct, right, is to think of purity as avoiding all the bad stuff. We try to build these walls to keep the pollution out. But the sutra argues for the complete opposite. It says true purity isn't about the absence of pollution. It's about having the incredible ability to transform it. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. This quote is a total game changer because it tells us that the very things we spend so much energy trying to get rid of, our anger, our anxiety, our confusion, they aren't actually bugs in the system. They're the fuel. The problems aren't waste products to be thrown away. They are the raw materials this whole ecosystem is built to process. So this is absolutely crucial to understand. The system isn't like a cleanup crew that shows up after a disaster has already happened. No, this self-purifying mechanism is woven right into the fabric of reality itself. It's like an immediate, built-in, automatic response team that kicks into gear the second any pollution appears. Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? Well, let's take a little tour of this inner ecosystem and meet the crew that's responsible for this amazing transformation process. The sutra talks about them as different kinds of deities or spirits, which are really just personifications of these functions. First up, we've got the fire deities. Now, their job isn't what you might think. It's not about burning everything down. Their real function is to bring light into the darkness, and by doing that, to extinguish the delusion and confusion that comes from just not being able to see things clearly. The key phrase that goes with them is this one, to completely remove all the darkness of the world. But we have to get really specific here about what darkness actually means in this context. And this is just brilliant. The goal isn't to burn the world, it's to light it up. Darkness isn't some evil force you have to destroy, it's just the stuff that's unconscious, the parts of ourselves we haven't seen yet. So the fire function is really awareness. It's the flashlight you use to see into the dark corners of your mind, not a flamethrower to destroy them. Okay, next up on our tour, let's look at what complements that illumination. Let's meet the water deities. These guys represent water, rivers, the ocean, and their job is to cool things down, wash away the grime, and get stuck energy flowing again. This quote is just so powerful. It talks about ending the suffering of drifting and heat. You know that feeling, right? That hot, agitated state of mind where you just feel like you're being tossed around by your own thoughts and emotions? That's exactly what this function is here to handle. That word drifting is such a perfect description for the modern mind, isn't it? Just constantly pushed along by this endless stream of thoughts, worries, and anxieties. The water function doesn't try to build a dam to stop the river of thoughts. Instead, it channels all that chaotic energy, turning that aimless, painful drifting into a purposeful, cleansing flow. And finally, we get to the absolute foundation of this entire ecosystem, the earth deities. Their whole job is about stability, support, and having the capacity to stay completely unshaken no matter what's happening on the surface. The ocean of merit in an unmoving heart, that's the stable core of this whole operation. It points to this deep, profound kind of strength that doesn't come from reacting to everything, but from staying centered and grounded. So what this is really saying is that true power isn't about jumping in to fix everything right away. It's about developing the capacity to just hold a difficult situation, to bear complexity without crumbling. This stability
This is the ground on which the fire of awareness and the water of cleansing can actually do their jobs. Okay, so we've taken the tour of the ecosystem, we've met the crew. That's all great in theory, but now for the most important part. How do we actually put this to work in our own lives? Let's get into the practical, actionable stuff. Think of this as your practical toolkit. Let's walk through it. Number 1, cool down first. When that flash of anger or anxiety hits, you gotta bring in the water function. Just breathe. Cool the system down before you even try to analyze it. 2, see repetition as process. If the same problem keeps coming back, you're not failing. It just means this cycle of transformation, the illuminating, the cleansing, the stabilizing, isn't quite finished yet. 3, respect your biology. Your body is a huge part of this ecosystem. If you're ignoring sleep or nutrition, you're basically sabotaging your own support system. 4, be a container, not a fixer. This is the earth function in action. Prioritize being a stable container that can hold the problem over being a frantic fixer who needs to solve it right now. 5, aim for malleability. The real goal isn't some sterile purity, it's resilience. It's about being able to process emotions quickly, not pretending you never feel them. And finally, number 6, perform a daily metabolism check. At the end of the day, just ask yourself, what did I just push through and endure today? And what did I actually allow the light of awareness to touch and transform? So as we start to wrap this up, let's think about how to really make this a long-term operating system for your life, not just some cool idea you heard once. Here it is. This is the ultimate self-check question. Anytime you feel stuck, stressed, or overwhelmed, you can ask yourself this. Is what I'm doing right now coming from a place of suppression, of trying to fight this? Or am I actually creating the space to let my own inner ecosystem, my own awareness, do its natural work? And how can you tell the difference? It's actually really simple. It's a feeling. Suppressing a problem always feels heavy. It's a constant, draining effort, and it just leads to burnout. But allowing the system to operate, well, even if it's a little uncomfortable at first, it ultimately feels light, clear, and totally liberating. And this really is the final essential takeaway. This whole idea isn't a life hack you use once to get a single aha moment. It's a fundamental shift in how you see everything. It's like getting the owner's manual for a system that's designed to run for your entire life, constantly processing and transforming whatever life throws at you.
Ultimately, understanding this inner ecosystem isn't about trying to reach some perfect, problem-free state of being. It's about building the inner resilience to stay stable, the clarity to see things just as they are, and the flow to move through all of life's challenges without getting stuck or breaking down. It's your built-in key to navigating whatever comes your way.